If you're a first-time home buyer, I want you to take a look at this video. We got some nuggets. Basically, we want to talk about the legal tips to having a smooth transaction. And who better to talk about this than my legal ace, my number one guy, Anthony Russo. Anthony, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Evans. My pleasure.
All right, so what do you want to hit them with first?
Again, I've been doing this 32 years. I'm a real estate attorney. My advice, and I know it's Evans, it's your advice as well, is to have a good team and be prepared. Those are the two key factors in any transaction. Having a good team, an experienced real estate attorney, an experienced agent or broker, someone who's going to have your interests and protect you along the way, and having an attorney who specializes in that field is critical. Not someone who dabbles in it, but a specialist. And being prepared. You'd be shocked at how many times I'll get transactions that are missing information, and it just delays the process. Being prepared will help you get through much of uh, I was going to say, the thick grass that's out there these days in terms of delay and banks and title issues that come up. So being prepared and having a good team.
Um, it's a busy real estate season right now, regardless of what people are hearing in the market.
Yes.
People are buying, people are selling. But the number one question I know people are going to be asking regarding this particular video is, how do I find a good team? How do I know I have a good team? How do I know basically the person I'm talking to really has my best interest in mind?
Yeah, I mean, recommendations, reviews, word of mouth really go a long way. I've been doing this 32 years. There's many other, real estate attorneys that out there that are very good. We all, are that caliber that I'm speaking of. But there's a lot of attorneys that do it, on the side. They'll go to court. Not that that's a bad thing, but think that this is a side business, and they'll, do it in their free time. And that definitely one doesn't give them the time to devote to you or the expertise to devote to you. And in a field like this, where it's a real estate transaction, a substantial amount of money, maybe one of the biggest, if not the biggest purchase most people make in their life, they're going to live there many years. They're going to want to sell it. It does, obviously the value goes up, and you want to make sure you maximize that equity when you sell it. You don't want to have a problem because my attorney took a shortcut when I was buying it. So, or my broker didn't tell me this and I didn't realize it, or told me the wrong thing. So, again, recommendations, reviews, and word of mouth. The prior clients of mine, I have many clients that I would give their number to anyone who wanted to work with me, so they can, attest to my services. And I'm sure you can do the same, Evans. That's the key.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. One of the things I would say basically when you're picking your team, have open conversation with whoever you're considering working with. They can't help you fully if they don't know the whole scenario. So you have to paint the whole picture. And I've been doing this for about 11 or so years, and the 33, 32, going on 33,
I'm
34,
pushing
35.
32, yes. 32.
And obviously, we've probably seen and heard it all. Talk to us. We've probably heard it all. Basically, probably have solutions. Basically, it's not probably not just happening to you. There's a scenario out there. Basically, again, there's a problem. There's different solutions basically for a problem. So be honest and open to with your professionals that you decide to hire. Utilize their expertise basically to benefit you, and that's why you pick the right people. Again, recommendations. I'm gonna go with the obvious one, your gut feeling. You know basically when you're being sold and when somebody actually takes an interest in your benefit. They know basically your family. They know what's important to you and your family, and you feel it basically. All right, this person really does care about me. They are protecting me, and sometimes we don't want to hear the truth, but we want somebody in our corner that's going to tell us the truth. Hey, I understand that. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but you hired me to tell you the truth, and this is what the truth is.
Well said. As I said, a lot of times I'll tell my clients that, you may not like this, but this is the real story. This is what's going to happen. This is what you need to deal with or face, so that they know what's ahead of them. To give them, a rosy picture when it may not be rosy is not helpful to them. I rather them know what's going to happen. And as I said, to have those honest discussions, and for them, my clients, to know what's ahead of them and what to expect is another critical factor in the process. And that's how I've conducted my practice. And, I know, Evans, you do the same, and that's the testament to, people who are there for you. And, I'll have many situations where I can have, I always explain the process. Let's say it's 10 steps. It's not, but let's say it's 10 steps. I'll get people to say, we're at number one, and they'll say, let's skip 2 and 3 and go to 4. And I mean, I'm capable of doing all the steps or jumping through them because that's my world. But I'm going to say, no, we're going to do number one. we're going to number 2, and then we're going to do number 3, and we're going to go step by step to make sure everything is covered so that you don't have a problem down the road. I'm not going to skip them to make it faster and then you have a problem later. That doesn't really benefit anybody. So, that's again the key is making sure every T is crossed and I is dotted to make sure you don't have a problem later on.
Again, you said it before. This is an investment that you're making, or possibly the next move in your life, the next stage of life, and you want to make sure you're doing everything correctly. Again, you're picking the right professionals. You're listening to your professional. That's a key thing. We're giving you advice. We're giving our suggestions. We're giving you basically, here's what the facts are. Please listen to your professionals. That's what you hired us for. It's great. Basically, you might be listening, but you're not really listening. You really have to listen and take heed to advice. What other things you want to talk about regarding the subject?
Managing timelines too is important, right? So when you sign a contract or to sell or to buy a property, there's timelines in that contract. Certainly they're legal timelines, so you need to know them. And certainly it comes into play with timing, whether you're moving, selling or buying, whether you have interest rate locks. You need to know what dates you're dealing with. If a contract gives a seller until May to close, you can't lock your rate until February and expect to force that seller to close to keep your rate. So, those are dialogues that I have with my clients when I get a contract, when they sign a contract. Once it's signed, I have that in my email. I say, here's your contract. Here's your window to close. Again, what Evan said, you need to have dialogue and communicate so that we all are aware of those timelines. And there are many instances where things come up and we have to rework the timeline somewhat, but there's also some legal obstacles. I can't force a seller to close earlier either. So, those are the things where, people will lock their rate and not tell me, and then it comes up and I can't do anything for them. So those discussions and being prepared, again, getting the contract to make sure it matches the dates we're all on the same timeline on to make sure it matches your needs is critical.
I think another thing I forgot to mention is pretty much whoever you're building in your team, they have to be able to communicate with each other as well. Mm-hmm. So realtor has to dialogue with the attorney has to dialogue with the realtor, and then we all have to have conversation with the lender majority of the time. So it's really important who you work with does matter. So basically, if you decide to go the cheap route, that could end up costing you more money, delay, and more stress. And if we're having open dialogue and we're having a conversation, we're telling you, look, we've been reaching out to your whoever it was basically, and they're not responsive, they're not responding back in a timely manner. That can delay a lot of things. So it is important who you're working with basically, and then respond to basically when you hear from your professional, hey, I'm reaching out to the other person that you picked, the free person, and they're not responding. Then you would have to make a decision, you as the client, a decision. Do you want to continue this route or basically listen to your other professionals, and it might be time to make a switch?
It happens a lot. If I'm dealing with an attorney who does specialize in real estate, I can't get them to call me back or respond. And, sometimes there's weeks delay because of that. So again, another important factor.
Yeah, time is money. So we don't want to see you wasting time or money.
But being prepared too. I know when you have a client, Evans, if they're selling, for example, you'll tell them what to get the deed, get the survey, get their documents in order. As we go to contract, tell them what they're going to need for the next step so they can prepare. A buyer to tell them what they're going to need for their bank or a co-op so they can have their co-op application ready. All those steps of being, proactive and not waiting till the last minute. And even ordering searches. I have a lot of transactions where some attorneys won't order a search, a lien search or a title search until after a milestone happens, when that causes unnecessary delay. When a transaction starts and we have a signed contract, we'll order those searches, and that way those things can be underway while we're waiting for the first steps to develop. To delay and start that at a later point is not helpful to anyone in this market, whether sellers need to get out, buyers need to get in, rates are going up, or rates are locked for a short period of time. So again, proactive, good team, being prepared, all critical steps in the process.
I think you pretty much summed up everything. What more is left to say besides our contact information? If they want to reach out to us, I'll let you go first, and then I'll go after.
So yes, I'm certainly available to help anyone. You can reach out if you have a question or concern. Certainly, if I can help you in a transaction, that'd be great. Anthony W. Russo, 516-746-7371. I give out my cell phone as well, 516-312-7249. My email address is awrusso@awrussolaw.com. Thank you.
I just want to say to everybody who's watching, thank you for watching this series. We hope you got some value out of the what you've been watching. If you have any questions about anything real estate regarding buying, selling, on the legal aspect, we are planning to do more videos. Let us know what you want to know about, and that'll be the next video. I'm your host, Evantz Saint-Gerard. I'm your real estate agent here in Queens, Long Island, Brooklyn, the Bronx. You can also find me on my cell phone, which is always attached to my hip. Well, actually, it's always in my hand. But it's the number is 917-975-5985. I'm on every social media platform right now. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You're probably watching this on one of those platforms. LinkedIn, Facebook. Yes, I'm on pretty much everything. And again, if you have any questions, scenarios, you're not sure what the answers are. Basically, you are working with someone and you don't feel that they're giving you the right information, you want a second opinion, feel free to reach out to us. It doesn't cost anything to reach out and have a conversation. And other than that, Anthony, you got the last words. Basically, it's 2024. How you doing your resolutions? For the people who are watching this, the first month is done. We're on to the next month. What do you want to say about people's resolutions?
It's hard to believe a month is gone already, but stick to them. Even if you made a resolution and haven't really applied it yet, make sure you still have 11 more months to continue. So get back on track. That's what I'm hoping for, at least.